I am currently reading The Blood of Olympus, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking it more than the first time I read it. The first time I read it was when it came out. And yeah, I just never finished it. I told you guys I never finished it. I ended up just going to Wikipedia and looking up what happened, and I don't remember. Luckily, I don't remember what happened. I feel like somebody's gonna die though, because they did say one of the 7 is gonna die. And I've been seeing at the bottom of one of my videos, it said a goddess mourns somebody's death. And it did say specifically which person. And I was like, well, now that I think about it, you guys don't really talk about this person. Like when we talk about Trials of Apollo and we talk about the series that Nico gets, you guys haven't really mentioned this person again. I'm like, is this person gonna die? I don't know. But I am liking the book. I remember talking in the comments to somebody about how this was their least favorite of this series because too much was going on. And I do agree with that. And I think, I'm gonna have to make a separate video about this, but I think it's just too many different points of views. Like we've got Raina, I don't think we've had Nico yet. We had Jason, I believe we had Percy, we had Annabeth, we had Piper, we had Leo. It's too much. I like the mystery of not knowing what's going on from every perspective. It's just, there's too many perspectives, and I think that's what makes this book kind of overwhelming. But I just would sit down and give myself time to read it. Honestly, I've been listening to the audiobook a lot for this, and that's been helping, especially because I've been cleaning up and unpacking. But it's just a lot. But I did realize, I caught myself thinking, oh, thank God this is a Piper chapter, because I couldn't listen to this anymore. And I was like, was that me? Was that me, or did the spirit of Aphrodite take over my body? Because I don't like Piper like that. But I was actually enjoying her chapters. I also appreciated when Annabeth was like, she didn't say I wish it was like you, but she was kind of like, I wish it was like you. You're just so good when it comes to guys. And Piper was like, me? I was like, yeah. No, you're not, Piper. You're actually terrible when it comes to men. You also just said you've only known Jason for a few months. You're terrible when it comes to men, Piper, and I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to, but I'm still gonna say it. But I'm liking it so far. I'm at the part after the Amazons and Orion, and Raina is back with Nico. Honestly, I don't know if Nico's bi or straight, but I would have liked Nico and Raina together. I like the way she thinks about him and respects him. I hope they maintain this friendship. I feel like they're not going to. I haven't really heard you guys talk about Raina either, but I like how she cares about him. And I like how Jason talks about him and cares about him too. Also, like Nico had a dream, and in the dream, he was looking at the people at Camp Half-Blood having their little war talk. And he was going into long description about the Apollo boy, about Will Solace. And I was like, looking back, I should have known something was gonna come, because I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, oh, this narrator's still going about Will. And if you guys have watched all my videos, you'll know like there was once I was like, oh, this is Will. I didn't know that's when he was brought up, because he came up in one of the early chapters of Trials of Apollo. I was like, oh yeah, that's Will. And somebody was like, would you believe me if I told you Will was here before that? I was like, really? Yeah, Will actually, I remember, was in The Last Olympian. I need to reread the first series. I feel kind of slow now because I feel like it's, but actually in my defense, I never finished this book, so maybe I never got to that part. But that was a pretty long description of Will. For a minor character, we've never got a description that long. I feel like even for Clarice, when she was first introduced, it wasn't that long of a description. So that was interesting. But I'm looking forward to finishing this book. I think I'm like a third through, so hopefully by the end of the week I'll have it done. And I'm debating moving on to Trials of Apollo or going back to the first series, because I haven't read that in almost 2 years now. It's been about 2 years.